put our little filter on because we have to, because reasons. And yeah, so obviously I've probably watched this like 10 times at this point. So this is in episode 0. This is Wisps of Dawn. This was like a pre-season special, like an hour-long episode introducing the series, and then this series is going to have like 12 episodes in like the first half or something like that. I think that's what we're on right now, right? But just this episode 0, I must have watched like 10 times over, because holy shit, it's like one of the greatest things like fucking ever. I'm so hyped for this series. And then episode 1 that I'm watching after, it's been out for a couple of years, but I have not watched it. I have got no idea what's coming in it. That's I'm gonna leave it at that though. I do have some minimal Strange Fake spoilers, but again, they're, you know, minimal, so should probably turn this down like a little bit. Dude, this is so different from other Fate series, because it's like, there's no yapping, there's no world building, there's no very minimal exposition. We start the first scene, we're just summoning servants out the gate. No fucking around, we are locked in, okay? There was the whole Giguk thing about whether or not you can start the Fate series with Strange Fake, and I'll yap about that. But like I was gonna say, Alex, I'll yap about it, you know, after the episode. Again, a lot of this is like very vague exposition under the premise that you know more about Fate, so I'll probably have like a quick summary of everything that happens in this at the end as well. Because Fate can be complicated sometimes. There's our boy! There's our boy! There's our man! He has so much aura in this scene, bro. In these scenes. God, the visuals look so much better than like the original preview we got a couple of years ago. I hope we like actually find out what that key is, because it's obviously not the Aya key, but I've got no idea what it's for. Fuck you! The lighting, dude! Are you seeing this shit? Zashu! That line goes so hard. Like, the fact that he was speaking to Tina before she was even there, bro, just mwah. Oh yeah, her name's Tina. I know, I shouldn't know the characters' names, but I do. There's our boy! Part 2. Shit. The fact that that's his first line is hilarious. With a velvet door.
グレートビッグベンロンドンスター。昨日地下講堂で幹部の人たちと会議開いてたじゃないですか。違う。言わんでいいと。
Dude, I need more case files. I need more content of just watching Weaver have to deal with flat shit.
今のは聞かなかったことにしておく。これ以上私の平穏の邪魔をする。
大丈夫です。教授に迷惑はかけません。ただヒーローを召喚するためにはアイテムがいるんでしょ。ナポレオンの肖像画とか持っていったらナポレオン召喚できるんですか。
私がナポレオンなら
I'm actually kind of disappointed that we get like these little lines about Napoleon and then Napoleon just never ends up getting summoned. At least to my knowledge. Of the servants I currently know about.
フラット、君はどうして聖杯を求める？
見たいからですよ。
なんだと？
He's so girly pop. And for
かっ
what?
こいいじゃないですか。聖杯なんて。
ではそれだけのために相手を殺す覚悟が君にあるのか？
Oh,
殺さないで
roasted.
勝てる方難しい問
I
題
love
で
that
す
no
よ。
matter how old Waver gets, he does not lose his sass. Like ever.
できれば仲良くなりたいじゃないです
Bro's
か。
acting like he didn't steal an artifact to win at the Holy Grail or himself. That's all I'm
うち
saying.
にも友達にできたらそれこそ世界征服だって夢じゃないですよ。
There's our boy. There's our boy. Part 3.
教授、この荷物俺に。
君が欲しいならくれてやる。
Lord Elmaloy, buddy, I love you, but your wallpaper is ugly as hell, bro.
ありがとうございます。本当に。
I'm actually begging you to redecorate, bestie.
聖杯戦争のことを忘れてくれるならよしとするか。他のサーバント
See, again, to people saying that you can star on Strange Fake, can you imagine just seeing these scenes? You have no idea what's going on,
場所と
bro.
は異なる土地で。おい、アサシンを除けば残りは6機だ。サーバントは全部で7機だろう。
いいえ、
Yeah.
全部で6機ですよ。ミスター・ランガル。
Mr. Langala.
最も優秀と言われるセーバーのクラスがこの偽りの聖杯戦争には存在しないんですよ。完全にコ
See,
ピーした
even
状態で
without
始
all
め
the
たか
other
ったのです
fake
が
stuff,
何しろ参考に
this
した第三の聖
concept
杯戦争は
alone is
トラブル
already
続きでしたね
insane.
本当に参りました。若い国をあまり侮るべきではないと。
まさか合衆国が。
USA! 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 Ah!
滑稽なダンスをありがとう。30
That's
歳ほど
so
若く見えます
disrespectful,
よ。
bro.
アサシンの英霊は皆白いドクロの目をつけていると聞いたが。
と王、あなたが聖杯を得るために
ああ、その通りだ。
苦悶をこぼす
私が君の
ザバーニ
So we can't just have like a one Holy Grail war that starts normally, right?
我らが神は杯など持たない。
It's not a real Holy Grail war if one of the masters doesn't fucking die in the first 10 seconds.
ザバーニーヤ異端の
And
魔
what
術
a,
師が
it's just occurred to me, why do I feel like it's always assassin, bro? See, no, Alex, I don't actually know
さて
what her deal
君
is.
たちは魔術師というものをよくご存じないでしょうから物理攻
Like,
撃
she's obviously not a culmination because she's not 100 Hassans and there's no skull mask, but she's using Zabanir, so
例外はこの人のようにそもそもこの場にいなかった場合です。
yeah, exactly. But it's a mystery, bro. That's interesting, right?
ミスター・ランガルは用心深い情報屋ですから。
Also, can I just point out the fact? No, sorry for pausing, but like one of the things that I like about Strange Fake, right, is the fact that it does, unlike other Fate works, it doesn't shy away from like really getting into like the technical stuff of like when it comes to just like the world and magecraft in general. The fact that like, I'm sorry, so he shot up Mr. Langle, right? The older guy that was here, but that is an artificial body that he is puppeteering from his workshop in London. I just want to like, that's barely even like a side note, but that's like, to me, I just want to say that shit is cool as fuck. The fact that they go out of their way to like address how impressive that is as a detail just makes the whole thing feel more like real and cohesive, you know? It feels like a lot more grounded as a Fate work. Because like for a Holy Grail war that's supposed to be breaking all the rules, they're like following so many of the rules and are so familiar with them that they know how to break them, you know what I mean? It's cool. I'm just saying, it's cool.
それを魔術協会に伝えてもらうことが目的だったんですから、これから始まる偽りの聖杯戦争のね。
Nick. So what is that? Have we only seen Assassin so far? I'm pretty sure. So that's Assassin There's quote unquote no saber. So that's 1 of 6 confirmed, right? No saber. Yeah, cough. Oh no, we've got Archer. So we've got Assassin, we've got Archer. That's 2 of 6 confirmed, because Archer's Gilgamesh.
ティーネと言ったか。本来ならば捨ておくところだ。
She's so puppy coded. Look at her, bro.
かすめ取ろうとする輩ならば話は別だ。俺以外に引き寄せられたうぞうむぞうなど。
The way she looks at him is so real, bro.
俺が本気を出すに値する敵が出るまで、しばし姿を変えるとしよう。
間もなく聖杯が6人の魔術師に令状を与える。そうなれば私の手にも宿るはずだ。
So like Tsubaki, the kid in the bed's parents were supposed to be the master, but Tsubaki is the one that's gotten the command spells.
今回の件に関して私にできることは限られている。
Current case files mentioned, Geek mentioned.
とぼけずとも結構。すでに現地に弟子の一人を派遣なされているでしょう。昨日現地入りした教会の人間があなたの弟子を街で見かけたと先ほど。ロード。
Not the flip phone.
電話は電源が入っていないか。はい、こちら。
Boy failure, wave of velvet, never change. Please, on a guy.
出国していないか確認を頼む。
フラットエスカルドスさんは3日前にアメリカ行きの飛行機に乗っていますね。先生ありがとう。
Big Ben the London Star.
何かしらこれ。
Anyway, who do you think's gonna die first in Strange Fake? Flat in the Holy Grail War or Waver purely from stress that Flat causes him? Call it. Do you hear that laugh? Bro's winning this Grail War. Grace Pod! There's our girl! Part 1! There's our girl!
先日地下行動で行われた極秘の報告。
Oh my god, Grace!
盗み聞きしていたのです。
ご冗談をロード。
ええ、困ったことに。そんな結界をたやすく突破してみせるのがフラットエスカルドス。
I'll also get into that line in like a second.
コードが3本、それぞれが独立してる。
よし、レイジは絶対に使わないようにしよう。
To.
何時が我を召喚せしマスターか。
Nah, bro, Deku's mumbling like Flat Escardos. Come on, get it the right way around, man. Flat Escardos makes Deku look street tier. Sauce, trust me, bro.
契約は完了だ。なんと祭壇もなくこんな囚人監視の中で召喚を行うとは。祭壇がないということは。
Oh no, we do know it. It'll say it in like a minute, trust.
すいません。
But
いろいろ魔力の流れとかいじっ
right, okay. Now's like a good time to pause it though, because I do want to go over this, because we've had like a couple of scenes now, just to put into perspective, right? This kid acts like carefree as fuck. He's a bit ditzy, right? This kid is a certified genius, if it wasn't clear, right? So the only way Flat even found out about this Holy Grail War was accidentally eavesdropping on a top secret meeting in the clock tower with multiple bounded fields set up by pride rank level mages. That's a big rank. That's a big rank. That's like a bro accidentally just like passing by and getting curious and overhearing a top secret meeting in the Pentagon kind of deal, right? But like with like a minimal effort, right? Finds out about this Holy Grail War, goes there, right? Arrives in Snowfield, where this Holy Grail War is taking place, right? Gets granted his command seals, so cause of course the Holy Grail looks at this absolute madman with an abundance of magical energy and goes, oh yeah, you're a master, bro. I want you in my Holy Grail War. Get in my belly, right? But bro sits on a bench. Bro sits on a bench, looks at his command spells, word for word here, fiddles with the flows of magical energy, and summons a servant without a circle, without an incantation, without a relic, just summons a servant purely by accident, just with how much raw talent this kid... Do you understand how insane that is? just if it wasn't clear that like Flat Escardos built different, bro. He's dog walking Deku. That's all I gotta say. I feel like it really needs putting into perspective how built different this kid is, right? And how you need to understand how much more that adds to Waver's stress when you know how incompetent, just like naturally as a mage, Waver is as well. So again, you have to bear in mind, Assassin and Archer are taken, right? Yeah, brandishing a knife out in public. Yeah, that's a great idea, bro.
いや、違うんです。
驚いたかね。
自己紹介の前に私の特性を理解してもらおうと思っただけだ。
我が神明は正直な話。It
wouldn't be a real Holy Grail war if there wasn't a servant with amnesia. Let's go.
人は私をこう呼ぶし、手紙にて私が名乗ったとされるあざ名は存在する。すなわち、ジャック・ザ・リッパー。
ジャック・ザ・リッパ
ー。あなたのクラスっていうのはアサシン？
おお、これはすまない。
That's not a small psychotic child. Yeah, exactly. See? So, okay. Jack is Berserker in this, unlike Assassin in Apocrypha, right? And they are different because, to my understanding, right? Again, unless I've like missed a detail somewhere, the way I have understood this is Jack the Ripper in Fate Apocrypha is technically like the manifestation of it's really dark to say out loud. Actually, Jack the Ripper in Fate Apocrypha is like the manifestation of all the unborn children from Jack the Ripper's victims, kind of like tied into an amalgamation along with the legend, right? While this Berserker is, they don't have a true form. Considering Jack the Ripper was never identified, right? This Jack the Ripper is purely the legend of Jack the Ripper in the sense that they could be anyone, and that's what makes them this kind of like shape-shifting wild card of a servant, if that makes sense. So this is the manifestation not of Jack the Ripper, but of the legend of Jack the Ripper, the pen name Jack the Ripper, if that makes sense. So that's the way I've understood it, but at the same time, there's a lot of weird shit about servants not being quite right. What with it not being a proper Holy Grail war, with it being a fake Holy Grail war, and then Gilgamesh is there for some reason. But don't you worry about that. There's inconsistencies here and there, and I've only watched, obviously, this episode 0, so I don't know how deep those inconsistencies run, but that's the way I've understood it, right? Yeah, there you go. So it's the symbol of madness of the legend of Jack the Ripper. That's kind of broken when you think about it from like a servant ability, because they could technically, as a servant, they could technically be anything you wanted them to be.
本来座には限界した時の記憶は持ち越せないが記録は残る。本当の自分というやつを知れば次の権限の際にはより真実の姿に近づけるはずだ。マスターよ、私の能力であればあらゆるところへ侵入し敵のマスターを直接潰すことも可能であろう。さあこれからどう動く？
Yeah, so that's now 3 accounted for. We've got Assassin accounted for, the unknown identity. But we've got Archer Gilgamesh accounted for, and Berserker Jack the Ripper accounted for. That's 3 of 6, that's half of them.
曜日八面霊老風光メイビーキュート
メイビーキュート
ああ、せっかく時間が有り余っていたというのにあの恐るべき宝具の数々を
No, Caster, Rider and Lancer because there's Koth, no Saber, right? Koth. Also, can I just say how like insane that magecraft is there to like switch out hearts like a revolver? That's... Also, can we please talk about the command spells on the boy tummy? I'm like so normal about that. I'm so sane about that. Yeah, that's... Yes, subjugated the word. Alright, bro.
ただ一人堂々と日中の中央公園で0時を眺めている魔術師がいたのですが日光浴をしておりました。
The fact that they're monitoring all potential masters and they've seen Flat just being carefree in the middle of the park and they're reading into it like, oh my, he's a really skilled mage, he's mocking us, is hilarious. Bro has no idea you're there. Bro. Yes, there isn't potentially, maybe. We'll get to it in a bit. So, this shit's so cool, right? What the fuck is that? Am I right? Now, no. You don't know this at this point, but so the class is aware. That was Ryder. Identity unknown. And this is Caster. So that's 4 and 5. It's only Lancer missing now. And again, both identities are unknown.
シルクロードから南極に至るまで世界中の女とめくるめくロマンスを過ごした希代の色男ってな。
See, the worst part is bro's dropping all these references and I feel like I should know who he is, but I've got no idea. And I don't want to like Google it for potential spoilers sake, you know. See, and he's talking about anecdotes and authenticity, right? So I'm guessing it's like Shakespeare or Hans, where this is some kind of famous writer. But, and he's talking about writing scripts, but again, identity-wise, I'm still drawing a blank. The disrespect, man. Oh really? Just his nameless sword and infinite vault? Yeah, bro.
いかなるテレンテクダを使ってでも今日生み出すしか対抗策はないだろう。だがもしも人の身で原点をも超える宝具を使いこなすことができるとすれば、そしてその宝具を使いこなす人間が複数いるとすれば、君たちは正義だ。
Okay, and just for context, the way the way I've read this, right, is that everybody in this police force, or at least in this task force, has had, from their conversation before, has had Caster, however their noble phantasm works, replicate noble phantasms from legend that are superior to the originals fucking somehow, right? And has then distributed these noble phantasms to just these normal buckaroos and then given them a fancy team code name. So essentially, see, yeah, exactly, kind of like Emiya, except he's dished out these copied noble phantasms just like to an entire force. So essentially, everybody in this room is a pseudo-servant under Caster in their own right, which is kind of wild, kind of broken when you deep it, you know what I mean? And also, just like another side note, the fact that there's just a random fuck-ass chief of police in the USA that's just also a mage is cool. Like, come on, bro. This is where things get complicated, right? No, this is where it gets complicated, right? Because I have no idea who this very, very, very attractive female is, right? Now, we know there's 5 of the 6 classes accounted for, right? So we've got Archer, we've got Rider, Caster, Assassin, Berserker, right? That only leaves Lancer, but for obvious, again, you'll have seen it in the trailer, and we'll see it later. Lancer also gets accounted for in these next 20 minutes. That's all 6 servants, and she is not Lancer. So I don't know who this motherfucker is. There isn't an empty servant slot for them to go in, and that's clearly not a normal human being. So...
演技で言ったつもりはない。真実を述べただけだ。
あれ？あれれれ？
もしかして自分たちが正義だって本気で思ってるの？この壮大な詐欺を仕掛けた側にいるあなたが。
そうだかもしれんな。
These sheer disrespectful things I would let her do to me, bro. It's I can't. That's not TOS friendly. It's just not.
この聖杯戦争に調停役の
See, so like you mentioned earlier, Alex, they're saying due to the fake nature of the Holy Grail War, a ruler won't be coming up. But they're planning, like they're saying, they're planning to like sublimate this fake Holy Grail War into a real one, so they can basically just like fuck up the rules to their heart's content, but with like full support from the Holy Grail War system kind of deal, right? And they're saying just like a ruler can't do anything about it because it falls like outside of their hands at that point. Like her saying they want a ruler to show up makes me think it's not impossible though, you know? So it's like, this is an unprecedented Holy Grail War, anything could happen, you know? But if a ruler was summoned, they wouldn't have standard ruler authority of the Holy Grail War, is what I'm understanding. Sorry, that was too much yapping. See, and she's calling Caster fake Caster, implying there's a true Caster, which I'm like, is she true Caster? Does she give off Caster vibes? I don't know, bro. I can't even focus on how horny I am. I've got too many questions, and I've been sat on them for like 3 fucking years. This is kind of an insane sentence, right? But hear me out. What he's doing right now is animal cruelty, truly, well and truly. But this is low-key a valid crash out. Because bro poured all his resources and, like, fine-tuned this Chimera's magical circuits to be a catalyst for a servant, and then the dog got the command spells that were meant for him. Like, that's wild, bro. Okay, yeah, and Enkidu's here now, so obviously that's Lancer accounted for now. That's all 6 servants. Bro, Enkidu don't give a fuck. When does this start to make sense? That's the neat part. It doesn't. By the way, I also just want to throw out there. Just look at me like that. God damn, is it getting hot in here? Where did Bro even come from? Where? Real? Oh yeah, fake Holy Grail War where we're breaking all the rules, but summoning a divine spirit, that's against the rules, you know, bro. Yeah, okay. No, the fact that they're like, okay, lore-wise, Enkidu isn't it. They're not male or female. They were created as like a tool from the gods, and so they're just like a nothing. They're an it, right? But then in lore, Gilgamesh refused to see them as just a tool and was like, I'm gonna view you as a person, and started calling him he. So I don't know where all this she stuff came from. That is a dude. They're testosterone and they are boyfriends, okay? Barbie doll private side, but bro, I'll go down and check. Don't you worry about it. I don't know why, but there's something about Enkidu that I just don't see them as female. Which doesn't make sense, because they're so pretty. Like, you could totally pass, but I'm like, nah, that's a dude. Me when? Me when no? Tee him up, behave. Oh, mongrel girl, rejoice! My boyfriend's here. That's my husband. That's an insane line. Dude, visually, this is so stunning compared to how it was in, like, the original preview. Or something. I don't know. Ayo! It's so fun. Bro refuses to pull out air in like every other work, but then he gets here in Strange Fake. Enkidu has been here for 5 seconds, so it's like, no, air, come out, we gotta go, bro, we gotta run the runs right now. That's not a winner's mindset, Enkidu. Come on, lock in. That's what I'm saying. No one in this Holy Grail War is fucking around, bro. The servants were summoned and everybody just turned around and went, nah, it's straight hands, bro. Impact frames would go hard if it wasn't for the blur. Bro, jump in Discord. That's why it's there. I can't read. See, he's autistic. He can't help it. You're gonna miss peak, bro. Just saying.
召喚された5機目のサーバントの正体は
確定ではありませんが、報告ではエルキドゥ。
エアよ。
存分に歌うがいい。
フルスロットルで行くよ、キル。
天地は分かれ、無は開闢をことほぐ。
呼び起こすは星のイブ。エヌマエリア。
Absolute cinema. Showing up and popping ults in like the first 5 seconds is crazy. It's their way of kissing? Oh yeah, 100%, bro. I was momentarily bewildered by how you looked. Yeah, okay, that's a straight thing to say, Gil. Sure. Bro said, what is bloody yapping about? Yeah, what 100% their way of kissing, bro. This is tongue play right here. Like, the way Enkidu is cupping his ear to hear his quote-unquote friend's laughter of the explosions. Yeah, bro, there's a heterosexual explanation for that, sure. A king shouldn't make such a depressing face. Yeah, alright. Kiss. No, I'm sorry. Flat is a fucking psychopath, right? Because everyone else saw that encounter and was just like, man, what the fuck? But Flat's just sat there grinning after the whole thing. This motherfucker thinks he's winning. Like, nah. With a Velvet, come get your boy, man. Hold on, there's also post credit. Oh
おうこの
my god, John Kaleidoscope!
いや最悪だ大雲目が目
The
覚
man,
め
the myth.
スノーフィールドの事件を一つ選んで観測するつもりなら乱入者を基準に世界を選定した方がいい。
この娘を主人公に
彼女の宇宙が単なる疑点となるか、あるいはその逆か。期待を持って見届ける
Ah,
んじゃないか。
hello. Suspiciously Artoria ships, not Artoria. How you doing?
と
Door.
汝が俺のマスターか
Oh my god. Not Saber. You know, because there's no Saber in this Holy Grail, guys. Haha.
私はもうお前たちの思い通りにはならない。
Absolute cinema! And okay, that is as much as I have watched